Hey, what's up, guys? This is Diesel, and today we're going to be talking about key binding and transitioning from a keyboard turner / clicker into a key binder.
Bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll let your shit be.
Now, just as kind of an introduction, when I first started playing this game, I didn't have any MMORPG experience. Most of the games that I did were console games, with paddles versus keyboard and mouse. So when I first came to WoW, I had no idea about keybinds or macros or any of that shit. I mean, I still remember the first tune I ever made was a hunter, and then the first time I ever fought a rogue, and a rogue vanished and then came up behind me and ambushed. Like, I was stunned. I was just sitting there like, how did this tune go invisible? What the fuck? Like, what kind of magic is this? I mean, I ended up fucking deleting my hunter and making a rogue, because to me, at that point, rogues were just this magical thing that had to be played. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was in the game to have fun, and it wasn't really until the end of vanilla with when I really became competitive in Nax Ramus that I realized that I couldn't heal effectively while still maintaining a high level of situational awareness. Like, I could either keep my fat ass alive, or I could heal the fucking raid really well. I couldn't do both, and I couldn't do both with enough efficiency that I really needed to validate my spot at the time. So, the obvious thing that I needed to do was, I went online and I looked up, how to improve efficiency in raids and everything, and one of the things they started talking about was key binding. Now, I didn't necessarily like the way that all the key binding guides that I had were set up, just because it didn't feel right on my hand. It felt weird. I couldn't get any of the buttons right. Muscle memory was a nightmare. But I mean, even now, that's just something that you're going to have to deal with in anything. At that time, I just, I didn't want to hear it. But I eventually did have to do it, because I did want to improve my gameplay regardless of how hard it was, and it was probably one of the greatest decisions of my life. But what I did was I made my own little key binding guide. I don't know if this is kind of the standard, and I just did it because it made sense, the same way that it would make sense to everybody else. But because I'm a keyboard turner, my hand normally sat on, AWSD. So AWSD kind of feels natural to me. So whenever I was figuring out what I needed to do for my keybinds, I tried to build everything around what felt comfortable on my hands. This isn't my normal UI. I actually just got rid of all the junk and the clutter and the add-ons, and just got my main two bars and blew them up as large as I could go, just to show you what everything looks like. My main abilities is AWSD. They're things that I just need to be able to hit instantly, or something that my fingers are already naturally resting on. And then underneath that is CC, or abilities that have small cooldowns. So you don't necessarily spam them or press them very often, but you still do use them often enough. And then F is a proc-based ability, G is defensive, and then Shift F and Shift G are just my shields. Now, you might not necessarily have a type of setup like this. On my Death Knight, for example, I actually have F and G assigned to my interrupts. I have F assigned to Mind Freeze, because F is closer to your hand. And then with Mind Freeze, being able to cast it more often, having it closer is better. Whereas G, which is a little bit farther away than F, for Strangulate, just because it's a cooldown CC, but it's still clutch. You still need to be able to press it almost instantly, just not as fast as you would F, because F you're going to be using, every 10 seconds or so if you're trying to stop a healer. So let me go in and just show you here. Okay, so first off, you want to go to Keybindings. Walk you through this step by step. Here's what it'll look like normally. Just scroll down the list until on the left hand side you see action bar functions, and then this is what you want it to look like. You want A, W, S, D, and then Shift A through D, F, and then G, Shift F, and then Shift G. So you just want those first 12 right there. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to find another action bar. It doesn't matter which one it is, just find one action bar. Let me see which one I grabbed here. Okay, I grabbed this one right here. And then this is just my sidebar. It's this one right here, the one that I'm moving around because I'm cool. And just assign it to C, then Control C, then Control A through D, then Control F G, and then 1, 2, and 3, 4. The reason why I want you to do this is because A, W, S, and D is where your hand should normally be resting. And then Shift is normally where your pinky will be resting. So A, W, S, D, and then Shift, A, W, S, D are really easily used abilities. It's very easy to press, very easy to get muscle memory. These are the ones that you're going to want to know first. And then afterwards, you need to train your pinky finger to be able to tell the difference between Shift and Control. And then while you're doing this, you also need to have your index finger be used to doing F and G. So first, get AWSD down, then Shift AWSD, and then work on getting Control and F and G down with the same AWSD, F, G, and C. Now, there's two ways to do this. The one that I would necessarily recommend that you do is making a new character. Just making a level 1. Just because you get abilities slowly as you progress through the levels, and as you're going through and killing things or running dungeons or BGs or whatever you're doing, you start off with maybe 1 or 2 abilities that you use very often, and then what you do is if you have a keybind, like if your first 2 abilities you'd have them bound to A and W, that would teach you the muscle memory with A and W, and then by the time you got your 3rd ability, which you would put as S, you already have the muscle memory with A and W. And then by the time you get the 4th ability, you've already learned the first 3. So it gradually steps you up. Just remember to have everything bound this way and not to cheat. You're your own judge. Use your own thing, but no, don't cheat. Don't click anything. You either use the keybinds or you don't do anything. Because the moment you start trying to keybind, you can't go back to clicking. If you do, you're just going to start clicking again, and all the progress that you've done with keybinds is just going to be wasted. Okay. So, the second step, if you don't want to level a new character, or if you just can't, is just go to a dummy. I don't necessarily say this because, you can't really raid in PvP with a whole new set of keybinds that you're not used to. Because, let's face it, at 85, we have a lot of abilities. I'm level 70, and I have, 22? Is that it? 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I have 22 and I'm level 70. Come on. So it's a lot of stuff to learn at a really hard time. So it's not something you want to just be to allot an hour before your raid to try to learn everything. Because it just won't work right. You need to do maybe 5 or 6 hours. And you really need to be in situations where you could practically use the abilities that you wouldn't necessarily be able to use or wouldn't use often. Okay, so now, when I'm telling you to do all these things, a lot of people are like, I've clicked for years, it feels comfortable to me, it feels right, I don't see any difference, I tried keybinding once and I did worse, and whatever. And let me just kind of counteract that. Let me put this in perspective for you. See, what's going to happen is the moment you get everything set up the way that I have it, and you try to do everything, probably the first week of your gameplay is going to be hideous. You're going to be trying to frostbolt and you are going to fucking ice block. Or you're going to blink in and pull the boss. I mean, it's going to be terrible. But after a while of doing it correctly and doing it methodically and just doing it the way that I'm talking to you about how to do it, what's going to happen is you're going to build muscle memory. Your fingers are going to know what ability is what. They're going to know in which position to move from where they are resting to hit the ability that you want them to hit. So when when your eyes tell your brain that you want to hit frostbolt or whatever it is, your brain tells your fingers to just automatically move to what they've been used to moving now to hit that ability. You don't actually have to look at it, get your mouse, take your mouse down to the ability, click on it, and then have it go through. I mean, I would venture to say twice as fast and twice more responsive than clicking. So, I mean, the first thing that you're going to notice is that you have a lot more control of your character. Things are going to feel more natural. You're going to start noticing that your reaction speed goes up. Like, you'll see something and you'll just instantly react to it. Another thing that you're going to notice is that you're going to have better situational awareness, because you're not going to be looking at your spells. You already know. I mean, your fingers are doing your fucking job for you. Congratulations. I mean, they should get loot. You should make little fucking sock booties or something to put on them so they can get epic gears, because they're doing your job. All you have to do is look pretty and let them work. But I mean, since they're doing the job now with all the keybinds, that leaves your eyes to be looking around the raid. When it's looking around the raid, you're looking at, where's the fire? Where is the wave of death coming from? Or where's anything that I need to be aware of coming from? And when you do that, you're going to up your situational awareness. You're going to up your ability to react and counter mechanics efficiently. And you're going to be able to have a lot more survivability. Because a dead DPS is worthless. A dead anything is worthless. So, these are just things that kind of go hand in hand. You need to be able to not just validate your raid spot, but exceed your raid spot and support a raid as much as you possibly can. And you need to be able to support it more the next time than the time you did before. And if you're focusing on looking at your spells to make sure your rotation is right or your user interface is pretty, then you're not doing that. So, okay. So, first thing, you're going to get more control of your character. The second, you're going to have better situational awareness. And then, what's going to happen is you're going to start noticing that everything seems a little bit easier. You're able to respond better to things. You're able to react faster. You don't die as much. And, let me give you an example of how this really works. Let's say I'm melee. Whatever. And this blue thing is where the boss is, right? Now, let's say every 30 seconds or a minute, this boss starts channeling something. And if you are within 30 yards away or whatever when he's finishing channeling, you're dead. Let's say that the green arrow is a safe zone. So, okay, I'm right here. And now what I'm going to do is, the first thing that I'm going to do is mouse turn. So, okay, he starts channeling it. 3, 2, 1. You see, it's just, I mean, it's almost instant. That's how fast it is. I didn't get disorientated. I knew right where I was going. I knew right where to turn. Now, let's do it again. See, I mean, I don't even know what's the proper way. Like, what's better in terms of keyboard turning. I mean, neither is good. I mean, I guess you could either, like, turn this way and then just go that way. Or maybe if you tried doing, like, forward and to the side at the same time, like this. I don't know, but I mean, can you just see how ridiculous this is? I mean, the boss is right here. The safe zone is directly behind you. I mean, you can't backpedal. You'll get to here before you die. You know, I mean, but it seems dumb that you would have to, like, go to the side to be able to run backwards. It almost seems like a dumb thing to do. And I mean, and you know it's not a good way. You know that. So, okay, keyboard turning. Bam, look. I mean, let me just try to count the seconds. Let me see here. Okay. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. That's kind of rough. Let's just say 3 seconds. Okay, so 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Just about to hit 3. I mean, even still, everything is, it's all rough estimates, and I don't know if this is considered dramatized or not. But you can see the difference. I mean, even if it's only a small gain, it's still a gain. So, what I need you to do is get yourself set up the way that I am. And then start practicing these abilities. Make a new character. Get everything set up this way, and then put your spells in order. You know, AWSD, Shift A through D, FG, Shift F, Shift G, yada yada. And then just get them in a way that it's comfortable for you to use, and a way that just makes sense to you. Because the more sense that it makes to you, the easier the transition is going to be for you. And once the transition is easy and comfortable, you're going to build muscle memory faster. So, just to kind of recap, AWSD, these are going to be your spammed abilities, or maybe an ability that you just want to be able to use instantaneously. Shift F, Shift A, Shift W, Shift S, and Shift D. You can have this to what you want. I use it to kind of like get away cooldowns, or abilities that have cooldowns, just not long ones, like less than a minute. And then FG, I normally have these to interrupts or proc-based abilities, but just in this case, I have F to a proc-based ability, and then G to a defensive ability, and then Shift F and Shift G are just to my keys, just because there's something that I need to be able to reset in combat. So I want to be able to have them on kind of a readily available thing, but certainly not like on top, like in place of like Frostbolt or something. And then off to the side, any ability that has like 2 minutes or longer, or something that is situational, is what you're going to be using. Like I have my trinket bound to C. This is the one exception. You know, obviously C you need to be able to press almost instantaneously. Whether you're going to use it a lot or not, you still need to be able to use it almost instantaneously. So I have that bound to C. And then it's just Control A, Control W, Control S, Control D. I have these two abilities that I don't use very often, like maybe longer than 2 minutes. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to whisper me on the Moonguard server on Alliance. This current tune right here is .exe, .exe. And then on the Alliance side, you can whisper me on either Diesel or Takato. just kind of a heads up, I might be moving to Darkspear on the Mage. I might be joining Dara MacTyre. Hopefully. I mean, I haven't heard the definite yes yet, but I have my fingers crossed and things kind of look good. I mean, I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. Just be, get some great entertaining gameplay and kind of expand my channel with people that just really know what they're doing in the YouTube market. So if I get a chance to go over there, and if I do get approved, that's where I'm going to be going. At least on this guy, get him up to 85, and then, I don't know, maybe Swifty will carry me or something. Alright, guys, thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you would like for the next video. Maybe give me your in-game name character on Moonguard if you play on Moonguard, and we can hop in my vent. I have my own 25-man vent because I'm a pimp. And we can just maybe shoot the shit, shoot some ideas, do some BGs. I mean, anything. I'd love to hang out with you guys. Please like and subscribe. Helps me more than you know. I have the ability to monetize my videos, but I don't even monetize my videos because this isn't about the money. I just want to get the exposure out there, and I want to get my guides to as many people as possible, and I want to get as much feedback as possible. So, alright. Thanks for watching the vid. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you guys have any questions.